What's up guys, I'm Quinn. Today I'm bringing you a video on my Rust gun tier list, how I rank the guns in Rust. I'm going to be ranking every single gun. This list has spears and stuff too, so it should be interesting. I'm just going to get straight into it. Remember, if you guys do enjoy the video, please make sure to like, subscribe, and join the Discord down below in the comments. So first, I guess we're just going to start with the compound bow. I actually enjoy using the compound bow. I know a lot of people hate it, and I also don't like it. I enjoy using it, but I do not enjoy when it gets used against me by a grub. That is not fun. So the compound bow, honestly, I'm going to put it in an A because it is super good. It is probably honestly overpowered. It's really good. Next, we're going to go with the normal bow. For the normal bow, honestly, I'm probably going to have to put this in a D. I mean, like, if we're comparing this against other weapons here, it's not anything because it's a bow. But honestly, I'll probably put it in a D. The crossbow. It's a little bit better than the bow, I'd say. Honestly, if you use bow and arrows, it's actually pretty good. I know people hate bow and arrows, and sometimes they're nice, sometimes they're not. But just being able to no scope somebody with a crossbow is pretty handy. So yeah, that's why I'd recommend using the crossbow. The flamethrower is next. The flamethrower sucks. I'm gonna put it at F. As a weapon, it sucks. As a rating tool, it's not great, especially if you're low on low grade. So that's just gonna go at F because it's garbage. The M2 is gonna have to go at S. It's super easy to use. It's the best gun in the game, no debate. With a silencer, it's insane. I mean, if you've never used the M2, go try it out on an aim train server. I know a lot of my audience is kind of newer players, so I'm sure some of you have not gotten to experience the M2, especially on a vanilla server. It's great. I definitely recommend taking Bradley or taking Heli and getting yourself an M2. It's insane. It's the best gun in the game by far. The Nade Launcher. This gun used to be literally insane before they nerfed it with the HEs. I still think it's pretty good, honestly, with HEs. Now, HEs aren't super easy to get, but if you do run enough oil rigs, you'll definitely get yourself some HEs. So I'm going to put this at a B. They're really hard to come by, the HE nades, and the shotgun nades suck. The smoke nades are actually really useful when you're raiding the smoke off a shooting floor, but the HE nades are pretty hard to get, so I'm just going to put that at a B. The Yoka has to be an S tier. No, I'm just joking. Honestly, it's so cheap that I'm going to have to put it at a C. It's so cheap. Like, it's not good, but some of the plays you'll make if you play Rust long enough where you'll kill a AK kid with an Ioka, like those plays are just unforgettable. You will never forget about killing an AK guy with an Ioka. So I'm gonna have to put it at C just because it costs like literally nothing to make, and it's capable of one-shotting someone. The M92, this gun sucks. This gun was another gun that used to be good until they nerfed it. People used to have M92 macros where their mouse would shoot it like insanely fast. They actually nerfed the rate of fire, so it doesn't quite do that anymore. But I'm gonna put this at E. I hate this gun. Some people still like it. Honestly, like the damage is pretty good. I think it does like similar damage to the SAR, but it's just I just can't use it. I don't like it. I don't know. Next we have the nail gun. The nail gun is super cheap. One downside though is that you actually need a workbench, I'm pretty sure, to make the nail gun. And if not the nail gun, it's at least the nails you need a workbench to make. I think it's actually the opposite. I think you need a workbench to make the nail gun, but not the nails. I don't know. I don't like it either. This is another gun that some people like, but I'm just not a fan of it. So I'm gonna have to put this at E, maybe D, I guess. I just don't like it. Next we have the Python. The Python again is another gun that's super cheap to make, and overall it's just a good gun. Like I think it does the same damage as the AK roughly, maybe a little bit less by a couple damage points, but it's super good. I'm gonna put the Python at a B just because I think it's like one pipe, one spring. I don't even know if you need a spring. I think it's one pipe, one spring, and high qual or metal frags. It's really good. The Revi, I don't like the Revolver personally. I don't think many people like it, but I think it's a gun that a lot of people use because they have to, either because they get one out of a crate or it's just the first thing they can craft because it's a tier 1 gun. So I'm just gonna put this as a C because everyone has to use it. I honestly really don't like the gun. Like if honestly I would put it at like an E or an F because I hate the gun. But yeah, the P2 is another gun. It's weird. I actually like the P2. It's not good though, so I'm gonna have to put it at a C with the Revolver. It's not good, but If it was tier 1, I think that would probably make it like a B or an A, just because it would be so easy to craft and get. The AK, obviously S tier. Everyone knows the AK. It's not easy to use, especially for new players, but once you get that spray down, it's just the best, dude. I love it. Second, my favorite gun, I'll get to it later, it's not the AK. My favorite gun is not the AK or the M2. Obviously, they're better than it, but yeah. The AK is just, I don't even need to say anything about it, yeah. The bolty, honestly, I'm going to have to put that at A. Everyone uses the bolt, especially if you've ever played like a Battlefield server. You always have those bolt Andes that are just sitting there camping with their bolts. Bolt's super good, super easy to use. I usually just get a ton of them by the end of every wipe if I'm playing with a larger group, you know. You usually get like a box of bolties if you're constantly roaming and winning a decent amount of your fights. Everyone roams bolty AK. So yeah, I definitely like bolt. It's a little bit hard to craft. Honestly, like, it could be a B or an A, but I'm just going to stick it at A because everyone likes the bolt. Next is the L9. The L9's also going to have to go in A because it's a lot better than the bolt in my opinion. There's no like bullet drop or anything. You don't have to lead your shots like you do with the bolt. But it's super hard to get, and most of the time I feel like when I take Bradley, or not Bradley, Heli, I feel like I end up getting like a 16x, and the 16x sucks. But it's usable with the L9. It's horrible with the bolt. But yeah, the L9's really good. It doesn't have iron sights though, so again, that's why it's at the same level as the bolt. Next we have the LR. I feel like the LR has to go S tier. I mean, LR 8x is stupid. It's literally insane. Like, if you've never tried using an LR with an 8x, just try it. It's great. People hate on the LR. People make fun of people that use the LR. I get it. It's because they can't spray the AK. But, you know, the LR is maybe not quite as good if someone knows how to use the AK. But the LR is very close to the AK. It's really, really good. And with the 8x, it's pretty much unstoppable. Just like the M2, obviously, with the 8x. The M39. Honestly, like, I hate the iron sights on this gun, but if you have an 8x, an 8x changes so many guns. If you have an 8x, like, it's really good. So I'm going to have to put it in B. An 8x with a silencer. If you guys have ever seen, like, H. June use the M39 with 8x silencer, it's a sight to behold. It's pretty insane. Next we have SAR. I'm going to throw SAR in A. Everyone uses SAR. It's just such a reliable gun. And it's just fun to use. I don't know why. It's just really nice to use. Everyone uses the SAR. Probably the most common tier 2 gun, maybe other than like a Tommy. But I love the SAR. I think everyone likes the SAR. I don't think anyone really has anything bad to say about it. But yeah, it doesn't really need much of an explanation. Next we have the rocket launcher. It's not really a gun. It's just a raiding tool more like. So I mean, like, shooting people with HVs is fun, I guess. I don't know. I'm gonna put it at like E. I mean, I can't put it on the level of the flamethrower, but like it's not even really like a gun. Like, that's what you use the Nade Launcher for. If you're gonna shoot people, you don't use a rocket launcher. But I mean, you can HV people during a raid defense. I've done that plenty of times, but you don't really just PvP with a launcher, nor with a Nade Launcher. But I just think it's more used for that. Next, we have our DB. DB's gonna have to be B tier for me for sure. I love using DB. I'm pretty sure every grub out there loves using the DB. DB Insen is pretty nice. The DB's pretty self-explanatory. It's the grub's best friend. Everyone loves the DB or hates the DB or hates when it gets used against them. It actually used to be better. I would put it at an A if this is like a year ago when it only costed one pipe to make. It was like one pipe and 125 metal frags, and that was insane. Now I think it's two pipes and the same metal frags, I think. I know it's two pipes now, but yeah, it was super good when it was one pipe. Next we have the pump. Honestly, I'm gonna put the pump in C just because you can use it as a raiding tool. That's my most viewed video on this channel, is actually showing people how to pump raid. It has like 120,000 views, but the pump is super good. I think it's better than the DB as a weapon, but it's kind of difficult to get. I mean, it's not as common as a DB at all, or easy to make. You need the tier 2 for the pump. So yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna recommend like PvPing with a pump because I wouldn't recommend PvPing with any shotgun. But yeah, the pump's just a super solid gun. The Spaz, same thing as a pump. It doesn't really need much explanation. Don't raid with the Spaz, by the way. I wouldn't recommend doing that. It's pretty bad. The water pipe, I'm just gonna put a D. It's super easy to make, so that's its only plus. But it's just like a DB with one shot. Like, It's just super easy to make. The reload time is obnoxious on it though. And the same thing with the ADS time. It takes forever to aim in, and it also takes forever to reload. So that's why it's a D and not a C. Next we have the custom. I'm gonna put the custom at C, I think. Just because I don't know, I don't like the custom really. The mag is so small and it shoots so fast. Now don't get me wrong, the custom is great sometimes, but if you're fighting multiple people, especially as a smaller group, it's really not easy to use, and I feel like that's most of my audience, so I'm assuming you guys wouldn't enjoy using this. If you're fighting a bigger group, especially as a smaller group, it's not easy to use for that. But one thing it's great for, you get some incens and you fight someone that has a heavy plate suit on, you will shred them instantly with that. It's really good for that. It's not a bad gun, but it's just situational. My favorite gun in the game right here, MP5. I love this gun. Like, I can spray this thing 150 meters hip firing. Like, it's so easy to use once you figure it out. It's just stupid. It's like hitting headshots with this gun is so easy. Now with the iron sights, there is a bit of bloom and bullet drop, but I definitely recommend using a hollow sight on this, and a laser if you can get one. I really don't know if that makes a huge difference, those two together, if at all of a difference. I just like it. But yeah, hollow sight on MP5, try it. It's insane once you figure out how to spray the MP5. I used to suck with it for probably my first 2,000-3,000 hours, and then once I figured out how to use it, I like it much better than AK. And I wouldn't pick it over an AK if I had to choose between them, but I love this gun. It's so good. Next we have the Tommy. I'm gonna put the Tommy at A tier. It's kind of a similar thing to SAR. Like, I don't think anyone has anything bad to say about the Tommy. Tommy Hollow is actually pretty good, but yeah, the Tommy's just like a super solid gun. In my opinion, it's just like an LR that does less damage. I love the Tommy. I have nothing bad to say about it. It's just a super overall great tier 2 gun, probably equal to the SAR. But next we have the Stone Spear and Wooden Spear. Those are both just, I don't know why that's in this list, but those are both going in F tier. They're both awful unless you're eco rating, but as a weapon they're awful. But one trick that I will give you guys is, if you are eco rating, you're soft siding a wall with your spears, have like 1,000 stone in your inventory. Let's just say you make 10 spears, you break all of them, you can then make 10 stone spears out of the broken spears instead of having to craft new spears. I know a lot of people don't know that, so that's a good trick to use if you're eco rating. But yeah, overall, that's my tier list, my rusted gun tier list. If you guys did enjoy the video, remember to like the video, subscribe, join the Discord down in the comments, and it's in the description. I'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you so much for watching.